Hey everybody, welcome back to Podcastage. My name's Bandrew and I'm back with another microphone test video for you guys. So as I'm sure you guessed, I am testing out the Razer Seiren Pro as requested by our viewer Micus Hein or something like that. The reason I opted for the Pro, which is about $50 more, is I wanted to test out the XLR capabilities. So just like the Blue Yeti, this thing actually has multiple microphone capsules inside, which allows you to change the polar patterns. As you turn this knob on the back, it switches between 4 different polar patterns. First is Bi-Directional, which picks up audio directly in front and behind it. This is good for interviews and that kind of stuff. Next is Cardioid, which just picks up audio in front of it, so this is really good for vocals or podcasts or something like that. Next is Omni-directional, which picks up audio all the way around the microphone, so this will be good for meetings and stuff like that. And then lastly, you have stereo, which picks up audio on the sides of the microphone, so it has audio over here and over here. Let's go ahead and talk about what you get in the box. Obviously, you get the microphone. It comes with this microphone stand attached. It has a really nice braided USB cable. It has a 5-pin XLR cable, which splits into 2 XLRs, so you need to have at least 2 XLR inputs if you're gonna use the XLR capabilities of this microphone. It comes with a 3.5mm extension cable. Lastly, it comes with some documentation as well as a 1-year warranty. So the build quality of this thing is pretty much awesome. It's an all-metal body, a nice metal stand, and everything feels like it's really well built. The USB cable is a really nice and thick braided cable, which feels very sturdy, like it's meant to last. The XLR cable is very nice feeling, which is good because I don't think this is a standard cable. I'm sure some of you are asking why it has a crazy XLR cable like that. I'm assuming it's because it has multiple microphone capsules and it needs to actually generate a stereo signal for these capsules and these polar patterns to work. So on the front up here, you have an LED display which shows you the polar pattern you're using over there, as well as the microphone gain, and as you turn up or down your headphones, it displays that as well. Which leads me to the next part. Right here is your actual headphone volume control, and directly beneath that is a microphone mute button. So if I hit this, on the back, we have 2 knobs. On the top, this will switch between all 4 polar patterns, and the bottom knob is actually to control the microphone's gain. Then on the bottom, you have your 5-pin XLR output. Right here is your microphone stand mount. Right here is your headphone output. Right here is your USB output. And lastly, we have a high pass filter right here, which cuts out some of the low frequencies. Right now I'm on the Cardioid setting and I'm just speaking into the microphone. Now I have switched on the high pass filter, which will eliminate some of the low frequencies and help with some rumble or if whatever you're recording is overly boomy. Now let's go ahead and talk about a couple of the specifications of the microphone. First, if you are using this as an XLR microphone, you do need to provide 48 volts of phantom power. The sample rate is 192 kilohertz and it records 24-bit audio. As I mentioned, it has 3 14mm microphone capsules, which is what allows you to have the stereo, bi-directional, omnidirectional, and cardioid polar patterns on one mic. And lastly, they list the frequency response as 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. Now let's go ahead and crank the gain on this and on the computer and see what kind of noise this thing generates. So first we'll go ahead and crank the gain on the microphone. You can see it's slowly increasing. And now we are at 100% on the microphone. Now we're gonna go ahead and crank the computer's gain. So as you see, slowly turning it up from 25% all the way up to 100%. I'm whispering so it doesn't hurt your ears. Okay, right now the Razer Seiren is connected to my computer using the USB cable, and I am using the stereo microphone setting. Okay, now this is what it looks like when it's connected via XLR. Let's go ahead and see how it sounds. I'm still speaking into the Seiren using the stereo microphone polar pattern, but this time I am plugged in via the Zoom H6, which is acting as an XLR audio interface for my computer. To answer your questions, yes, both 3-pin XLRs do require 48 volts of phantom power to make the microphone work. When you're in the XLR mode, the headphone port doesn't work, neither does the headphone volume control or the microphone gain control. But the microphone mute button does work. Okay, now I am on the bi-directional settings, speaking into the microphone and typing at the same time to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard directly behind it picks up. Now I am on the Cardioid setting, speaking into the microphone, typing to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard it picks up. Now we are on the Omni-directional setting, typing on the keyboard and speaking into the microphone to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard it picks up. And lastly, we're on stereo, and we are typing on the keyboard and speaking to see how much of my voice versus how much of the keyboard it picks up. 1 foot away from the bi-directional setting. 1 foot away from the cardioid setting. 1 foot away from the omnidirectional setting. 1 foot away from the stereo setting. 2 feet away from the cardioid setting. 2 feet away from the omnidirectional setting. 2 feet away from the stereo setting. 4 feet away from the bi-directional setting. 4 feet away from the cardioid setting. 4 feet away from the omnidirectional setting. Lastly, 4 feet away from the stereo setting. Now you say that you like me, but you don't like me. You say that you love me, but you're not in love with me. Then we should just be friends. But friends shouldn't treat other friends like that. You're not too friendly when you act like that. Well, now you say that you like me, but you don't like me. You say that you love me, but you're not in love with me. Then we should just be friends. But friends shouldn't treat other friends like that. You're not too friendly when you act like that. Every time I talk to... So overall, I think this is a pretty awesome sounding microphone in pretty much every situation we put it through. I thought it sounded pretty awesome on the acoustic guitar, especially the stereo setting. When we tested out the voice, I thought it sounded awesome, especially on the stereo setting. And when we tested it out on electric guitar, I thought it sounded pretty good on every single polar pattern, less the omnidirectional setting. I know some people are probably thinking $225 is a bit expensive, and I do agree it's a lot of money, but I think this is absolutely worth it. It offers really nice quality microphones, pretty much 4 different microphones for $225. And if you were to buy those individually, it would probably set you back $300 to $400. So I would recommend this to pretty much anybody who's looking to up their audio game. I don't necessarily think this is necessary for gaming commentaries or voiceovers. This might be overkill, but if you are doing music on YouTube, I think this is a pretty great option. It offers a bunch of versatility and a bunch of options in a small package, and it also has the ability to upgrade to an XLR interface if you want to invest and get even higher quality audio. Alright guys, well I guess that will do it. If you do have any more questions about this microphone, leave them in the comments down below. If you are interested in this microphone, link in the video description. Don't forget to vote for the microphones you want reviewed next, as well as following me on all the social media stuff. Once again, links in the video description. If you found the video fun, interesting, or helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you thought it sucked, thumbs down. If you want more, subscribe by clicking the logo in the corner. And I think that's it. I will see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.